83 degrees, very pleasant at Harebaker Field in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. Welcome everybody, Zach Linfield here with you. So glad to have everybody along as we get you ready for the series finale between the Mallards and the Dock Spiders. 3 games into the season now for Madison and playing good baseball. Fond du Lac still searching for their first win of 2023. Madison, 1 game above 500 at 2-1. Right-hander Bryce Liedl gets the ball for Donnie Scott and Madison against Logan Eisenbarth for Fond du Lac. A good chance for the Mallards to jump 2 games ahead of 500 against the Dock Spiders team that has certainly struggled out of the gate. Madison currently at 2-1 and Fond du Lac at 0-3 in the early going. Big opportunity for Madison to earn their first series sweep of the season today from a very steamy Harebaker Field here in Fond du Lac. Let's get to our key of the game this morning for a Mallards win in Game 2 of the series. Well, the key for the Ducks today is to turn it around defensively. The Mallards have committed 9 errors through their first 3 games of the year, 6 of those coming in the Tuesday night loss up in Wausau. Eliminate those and keep the same approach at the plate, and that will certainly position the team for a strong 3-1 start. And now let's meet the starting lineup today for Donnie Scott and the Madison Mallards in Game 4 of the season. Leading off it in left, Jack Tucker. Batting second and at third, Keenan Taylor. Batting third and getting the bump up today is shortstop Jackson Chatterton. Batting cleanup and playing over at first base, Jake Goolsby. Batting fifth and in right, Dylan Nevar. In the 6th hole this morning is center fielder Corbin Dickerson. Batting 7th and playing up the middle is second baseman Davis Hamilton. Batting 8th and doing the DHing in his debut, Jaden Lobliner. Batting 9th and rounding out the order for Donnie Scott, catcher Braden Mazzone, seeing his first action of 2023. Towing the rubber for Madison will be right-hander Bryce Liedl. And now here's how first-year manager Doug Coe drew in his starting 9 for the Fond du Lac Dock Spiders. Leading off, the hot swinging DH Paul Whitman. Batting second and in left field, Travis Strickler. Batting third, the first baseman Seth Sweetchick. Batting fourth, the right fielder Jack Peterson. Batting fifth and playing for the first time this year against Madison, center fielder Connor Cooney. Batting sixth and at the hot corner, Jake Surrain. Batting 7th and doing the catching, Jake Grossman. Batting 8th and at shortstop, Chad Herrera. In the 9-hole for the Dock Spiders and at second base, Luke Nowitzki. The bottom 3 of the Dock Spiders order all making their debut here in this series. The meeting at home plate has finally adjourned. Our umpires for this 11:35 start, about 2 minutes away from first pitch. Behind home plate today, Parker Powell. First base umpire, Justin Wilson. And the crew chief, Sean McKinney, is over at third base. The Dock Spiders defense waiting to take the field. The Mallards took Game 1 of the series last night by a final score of 9-4 at Warner Park. The Mallards undefeated at home in their 2 chances. Started the series off on a high note with 5 runs in the 2nd inning of last night's win behind a good start from Giovanni Canales. No earned runs over 3 innings of work. Followed strong starts by Derek Salata on opening day and then Ryan Stefuk on Tuesday night in Wausau. Got a chance for a series sweep here this afternoon against Fondy. A 1-0 start against their rivals from up north. Last season, they just went 4-8 against Fond du Lac. Were not very good here from Harebaker Field. Their last win came in middle stages of June, and then they lost a couple consecutive to end the year in Fond du Lac. The last time that the Mallards beat this team was on July 3rd, and they had plenty of opportunity to beat them last season. Well, now the Dock Spiders defense has taken the field, and the Mallards get set to face off against the 19-year-old freshman from Barrington, Illinois, Logan Eisenbarth. makes his Northwoods League debut after his first year at Wisconsin Whitewater, a 4-2 record. 37 strikeouts, 14 walks, poised for a good role with Fond du Lac in his first summer league experience. The Mallards on their way to this ball game. Typically, Donnie Scott will stop at a gas station along the way, and since the drive to Fond du Lac's not very far, he stopped in Fondy at a quick trip just down the road, and the entire Mallards team spilled off the bus. They were inside the quick trip, and then all of a sudden, myself and Giovanni Canales look over our shoulder, and a man said, "Excuse me," it was Doug Coe, the first-year manager for the Dock Spiders. He was trying to grab his chocolate milk on the way to the park, and he said, "Try not to hurt us today." Kevin Ieski left the game after just 3 pitches thrown in relief last night with an upper back injury. The Dock Spiders lost another arm in the series against Green Bay with what they fear may be for Tommy John. So Jack Tucker digs in. Eisenbarth to the glove. Wines, kicks. First pitch fastball is high. 11:36 first pitch here from Hairbaker Field, and we are underway between Mallards and Dock Spiders. Game 2 of this 2-game series. Eisenbarth's second is swung on and tapped back foul by Jack Tucker. Working the far first base side of the rubber, stretched the whole way for Eisenbarth. There's a curveball that stayed high, didn't get on top of that baseball. The Mallards in their Road Aqua Blues with the cheese yellow piping down the sides. 2-1 pitch to Tucker is up and in. A fastball makes it 3-1. Eisenbarth, 6'1", good frame up there on the mound. Jack Tucker has been fantastic for the Mallards at the plate. He's drawn 6 walks this season, make it 7 on an elevated fastball. The Mallards leadoff man continues to get it done. All 4 games he has reached in his first AB. The Dock Spiders defense left to right across the outfield. Strickler, Cooney, Peterson. At the corners from left to right, Surain and Sweet Chick. Up the middle, Herrera, Nowitzki. Behind the plate is Grossman. First pitch to Keenan Taylor is slapped foul down the right field side. A 4 of 12 start to the season for the Purdue Boilermaker. 1 run scored, 3 RBIs, a couple of walks. Now Eisenbarth comes set just above the letters, reading Fond du Lac in their home whites. There's a line drive into left field. That's going to drop in front of the left fielder, Strickler. Jack Tucker will ride into second base. First 2 men on again for the Mallards. This 1-2 punch. Jack Tucker and Keenan Taylor, especially at the top of the order in these first 4 games. They are 8 of 8 in the first inning. When it comes to reaching base, Tucker, 3 walks and a single in last night's game to reach in the first inning as Jackson Chatterton digs in from the left side. First pitch he sees, breaking ball low. And Chatterton, he's gotten the bump up in the order. Now 6 of 11 on the season with 3 doubles. Team leader in slugging so far. He waits on the 1-0 from Eisenbarth. Here's the pitch, and it's a fastball perfectly into the outside corner for strike 1. The Bradley Brave in Peoria, Illinois rocks red batting gloves and a red elbow guard on his right arm. Holds the brown tannish maple bat just over his left shoulder as he waits on the 1-1 from Eisenbarth. Looks back at second, delivers. Tapped foul, back again to the backstop. Cookie Cutter Ballpark here from Hairbaker Field. 330 in the corners, 400 straight away, 375 in the gaps. American flag just over that 400 mark in center field that blows out to left field. 10 on the pitch clock for Eisenbarth as Chatterton waits on 1-2. The pitch is spoiled off to the left side, slapped foul. A runner on first, a runner on second. Top of the first inning, Mallards and Dock Spiders. No score from Harebaker Field. Mallards at 2-1, Dock Spiders 0-3. The 1-2 again. Curveball on the ground towards the right side. This should be routine. The first baseman Sweet Chick throws to second. The runner is safe at first base as the shortstop Herrera was pulled off second base. The bases are loaded on an early fielding mistake from Seth Sweetchick over at first base. Herrera just couldn't drag his right foot on the bag. And so Jake Goolsby will step in for the Mallards with the bases loaded, nobody away here in the top of the first inning. We'll see how they decide to score it. I figure it will be an error on Sweetchick. First pitch to Goolsby is a fastball for a called strike. And it certainly is an error. So an E3. Seth Sweetchick commits one. The 0-1 pitch, Goolsby pops it up left side. A long run for the third baseman, Surrain. Lots of room, but will run out of it quickly. There's a solid 50, 60 feet between the foul lines and out of play. The Mallards down the first base line today with their bullpen all the way down in right field. And opposite for Fond du Lac. Good count for Eisenbarth against Goolsby, the 0-2. An elevated fastball makes it 1 ball and 2 strikes. Goolsby drove in the first Mallards run of the season on Monday night. Looking for some more here. He takes a fastball low and in for a called strike 3. Goolsby certainly doesn't like the call. That's home plate umpire Parker Powell making the call. And a big first out for Eisenbarth if he wants any chance at limiting the Mallards' damage here in the first inning. Here's the left-handed Dylan Nevar stepping in. He takes a fastball low and in. 9-4 victory last night. Mallards looked sharp on all ends except for the error column. Nevar skies one into right field. This one's got a chance. Peterson going back, and he will make the catch about 10 feet in front of the track. 2 runners will tag, 1 runner will score. Into third base is Taylor. And retreating back to first base is Chatterton. So an RBI flyout for Dylan Nevar on sacrifice style. Mallards 1-0 here in the first. So Corbin Dickerson, who played at his first run of the season yesterday, with runners on the corners and 2 away. First pitch fastball crosses up the catcher. Grossman still stops it. Herrera and Nowitzki back up the pitcher on the throw from the catcher. Jack Tucker came around to score. Keenan Taylor now at third after his single. Chatterton still over at first. Here's a line drive into right center field. Over the leaping second baseman Nowitzki. Heading all the way to third will be Chatterton. It's an RBI single for Corbin Dickerson. And the Mallards make it 2-0 here in the first frame. Good piece of hitting by the Louisville Cardinal. The right-handed bat reached out across the plate and muscled it into right center field. It went just over the glove of Nowitzki. And here comes Rowdy Yates, the first-year pitching coach for the Dock Spiders. Davis Hamilton will have to wait his turn to step into the box. Long conversation here between Yates and the catcher Grossman and his starting pitcher Logan Eisenbarth making his Fond du Lac debut today. Parker Powell out to break up that meeting. Donnie Scott gives the signs to Davis Hamilton as he steps in to the left side. Good start for Davis here in 2023. 2 for 5, 2 walks and an RBI, also hit by a pitch. Didn't play on Tuesday in the loss to Wausau, but has played the other 2 ball games. First pitch to him, low and in, almost hit him. had to do the shuffle to get out of the way. It's 1-0, 2-0 Mallards here in the top of the first inning. Tucker walk, Taylor single. And E3, Jackson Chatterton now at third base, reached on a Seth Sweetchick error. Dickerson dives back to first safely, dirties up his blue uniform today. Eisenbarth set just above the letters. The pitch to Davis Hamilton is a called strike right over Broadway. Parker Powell calls time, and I believe it was because Davis Hamilton had requested it. On base percentage in the early going at .625 for Davis. He waits on the 1-1. On its way, delayed steal, and heading towards second is Dickerson. He'll have it for free. So 2 runners in scoring position and a good count for Hamilton. As the pitch was a ball, it's 2-1. Here's the pitch. Eisenbarth finds the zone for strike 2. Davis Hamilton shakes his head in disagreement. 2s across the board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 away. About 11 minutes into this ball game, the Mallards with the 2-0 lead, runners on second and third base against Logan Eisenbarth. The 2-2 pitch. That swung on and tapped towards short. Charging is Herrera. He will make the catch above the cap with the Dock Spider right on the middle of it. The Mallards plate 2 here in the top of the first inning. We get to meet Bryce Lita when we return on your home for Madison Mallards baseball. It's a 2-0 Mallards lead after the top of the first inning, and the Dock Spiders offense gets set to face off against the second-year man from St. Thomas University here in Madison, Bryce Liedl. A season ago, a 5.74 ERA, 15 2/3 innings pitched, a 1-1 record. And the biggest downfall of his season came right here in Fond du Lac, his first appearance of the season last year. He allowed 7 runs in a short appearance against the Dock Spiders in a blowout loss for Madison. The defense behind him today, from left to right across the outfield: Tucker, Dickerson, Nevar. At third base, Taylor, Chatterton, and Hamilton roam up the middle, and Goolsby's over at first. Braden Mazzone does the catching for the first time this season, as Canyon Brown, after 3 straight days behind the plate, gets a day off. One more time, the Dock Spiders lineup. Whitman leads off. Strickler, Sweetchick, Peterson, 2 through 4. Then Connor Cooney, the center fielder. Jake Surraid, Jake Grossman, back-to-back. At 6 and 7, then Chad Herrera and Luke Nowitzki. 2-0 Madison lead here in the bottom of the first inning. First pitch from Liedl is a fastball for a called strike. Primarily just a two-pitch pitcher. Fastball, slider. He only threw 2 changeups. 2 exactly last year here in Madison. The 0-1. Fastball up and away. Paul Whitman went yard last night into the 3rd deck of the duck blind at Warner Park. And the 1-1 pitch is low and in, but for a called strike, that's been a consistent strike call here through 1 inning for Parker Powell. Good count for the Mallards right-hander, Bryce Liedl. Became a fan favorite last season at the duck pond. On 1-2. Fastball taken just off the plate. Mazzone tried to bring it back in against the lefty. Liedl just above the letters in the aqua blue uniforms for the Mallards. On 2-2, a swing and a miss. Down goes Whitman. And that's Bryce Liedl's forte, the strikeout. He's got 1 in the early going. In the bottom of the 1st inning, Mallards leading it 2-0 from Hairbaker Field here in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. Temperatures in the 80s, sun shining behind us here in the press box. Positioned probably about 75 feet behind the left-handed batter's box in a enclosed room. The window doesn't open here. Strickler swings and misses at the first pitch. Always a different experience at different ballparks. Liedl unloads the 0-1. It's a fastball up at the letters. Third baseman Keenan Taylor plays in on the grass. The rest of the Mallards play deep against this left-handed batter. 2 of 9 start for the Dock Spiders left fielder Travis Strickler. Liedl misses the strike zone with the changeup low. We just talked about the fact that he does not throw many changeups. This offseason, he worked with a new pitching coach who told him there's more velocity in his body. He can find more. It's just about commanding that velocity. There's a big wave and a miss from Strickler. Similar pitch to the swing and miss on the first pitch to make it 2-2. You can tell the ball is jumping off of his right hand here in the 1st inning on 2-2. On winds into the corner, and he missed the strike zone by a ball's width. The first full count of this ball game for Bryce Liedl. Here's the payoff to Strickler. It's fouled off towards the left side. That season that Bryce had in Madison a year ago is similar to the one that he had at St. Thomas this spring. Just 1 shaky outing. Blew up his numbers and misled eyes for the rest of the year. Bryce readies for the 3-2 again. The second time it's on its way. A swing and a tap foul off the glove of Mazzone. He almost had his second K. As briefly mentioned, that game for Bryce was his Mallards debut last July here in Fond du Lac at Hairbaker Field, when he allowed 7 runs and only picked up 2 outs in the outing when Bryce was brought into his next 3 games. His ERA read 94.5 as he loses Strickler, first base runner for Fond du Lac, on a fastball up and away. But he ended up being one of the best relievers for Donnie Scott throughout the rest of the season. After those couple of games, he threw 15 more innings, only allowed 3 runs, and he punched out 28. The rest of the season, after a couple shaky games, earned run average was 1.8. Runner on first base, first one of the day for the Dock Spiders. Mallards ahead 2-0. First pitch fastball, elevated. See duels here with Seth Sweetchick. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Sweetchick up and in, and got his hand. Remember, he committed the error in the top of the first inning, which allowed the Mallards to plate another run. He'll make his way down to first. Base on balls, and now a hit by pitch from Bryce Liedl puts 2 Dock Spiders on, and Doug Coe, first-year manager for Fond du Lac. He'll walk down to home plate, have a conversation with Parker Powell, make sure his first baseman's okay. He'll check on Seth quickly. Braden Mazzone used the first mound visit for the Mallards, and here comes Jack Peterson, their team's leader in strikeouts in the early going, but has also been one of their two most impressive bats alongside Whitman at the top of the order. 4 of 15 in the early going, 2 RBIs. 2 runners on base, Lidl pitches, and the fastball is high. The defense has been an error for Madison through the first 3 games, 9 of them. 9 miscues, 9 botched balls, however you'd like to put it. Not strong for Donnie Scott, but yesterday in the pregame on the 1-0 pitch, that's low, it's 2-0. He said he's not too worried about it. At some point the defense will come. They're getting accustomed to a new grass layout in the infield compared to a lot of their schools now playing on turf. And it's a grass surface here in Fond du Lac, dirt all around. Good count for Peterson, it's 2-0. Lidl misses nowhere close. 3 balls, no strikes. Bryce Lidl from Markzan, Wisconsin, about 45 minutes away. Did not travel with the team today. He spent the night up here with his family in Markzan and then made the drive to Fondy and joined the team at the ballpark. He arrived at pretty much the same exact time on 3-0. A fastball is way up high. Mazzone not able to corral it, and the bases are loaded with 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning here in Fond du Lac. And here comes Sean Brown, Mallard's pitching coach, to check on Bryce. And just like his mound visits of the past few days, it includes just himself, the pitcher, and the catcher. Canyon Brown was behind the plate the first 3 games of the season, both at Warner Park and 1 at Athletic Park in Wausau. And now Braden Mazzone on a temporary contract makes his Mallards debut this afternoon. About 3 minutes from it being the afternoon, 11:57 a.m. here in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, Central Time Zone. Bryce Lidl toes the slab, the far right side of the rubber, holds the glove into his left hip, dangles the ball down past his belt. There's the first pitch in the AB to Connor Cooney. Did not play yesterday. He takes a fastball for a strike into the outer part of the plate. One for 3 in the series with Green Bay, walked twice. 0-1, a swing and a miss, and another lefty up there for Fond du Lac. Remember, the Mallards have 3 consecutive lefties, right in the middle of their order as well. Chatterton, Goolsby, Nevar. Mallards up 2-0 here in the bottom of the first inning from Hare Baker Field. The pitch into the outer corner somehow misses. A perfect pitch called for a ball. And Bryce stood there for an extra moment looking down to the plate. The outside call is not there so far for Parker Powell, but inside is. Just a little room between the knob and the bottom hand for Cooney. The pitch is fouled off. Back behind home plate. One ball, 2 strikes, bases loaded, bottom of the first. The pitch from Lidl. There's another tap foul. Connor Cooney, the Doc Spider center fielder. A strong academic. Back in high school at Holy Family in Colorado, he earned academic excellence honors in the classroom with trigonometry and advanced mathematics. Now plays up here in Fond du Lac. On 1-2, inside, cold strike 3. He gets the call this time because he went inside. Both outs in this inning for Bryce Lidl, recorded with strikeouts. And that leaves things up to Jake Surrain. He bats 6th here today after batting 9th last night. Bases loaded. First pitch called strike, fastball outside. Serene was on base one time last night, part of one of 5 walks for the Dock Spiders. They struck out 10 times as a team. A 1 pitch, swing and a miss. And Bryce Liedl 1 strike away from stranding him loaded. Two and 1 record for Madison, 0-3 for Fond du Lac. Bryce Liedl looking to get out of trouble here. The pitch is a slider away. We haven't seen too many of those here in the first inning for Bryce. Two pitches away from 30 in the frame. He sits at 28. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch to Serene is spoiled to the right side. Liedl comes set. Here's the 30th pitch of the inning. It's a slider high, and the count is now 2-2. Paul Whitman led off the inning, struck out swinging. Strickler then walked. A hit by pitch to Sweet Chick, and then another walk to Peterson. Bryce Liedl then punched out Connor Cooney backward style. On 2-2, Serene on the ground towards Hamilton, right side, off the diving glove, and into right field. Nevar has to come over to field it. In to score is Strickler, in to score is Sweet Chick, and we are tied here in the first. Puts runners on the corners for Jake Grossman, the Dock Spiders catcher. Similar to the way that Ryan Stefuk was 1 strike away from getting out of the bottom of the 4th inning from Athletic Park against the Woodchucks in the loss the other night. Liedl was 1 strike away from getting out of the bottom of the 1st inning. And again, similar to the Woodchucks game the other night. The game is now tied on 1 swing of the bat. First pitch here to Grossman is a swing and a miss on a high fastball. RBIs 2 and 3 for Jake Serene, make it 2-2. There's a called strike on a slider into the outside corner. Madison 2, Fond du Lac 2. First game of the season at Hairbaker Field. Each team in the Great Lakes West plays 6 games against each other at their home parks. On 0-2, it's on the ground towards third. Keenan Taylor, a throw across the diamond, a perfect one to Jake Goolsby. And after a long first inning, nearly 30 minutes spent here in the first frame, it's a 2-2 score, Madison and Fond du Lac on your home for Madison Mallards baseball. 2-2 here from Harebaker Field, Mallards and Dock Spiders. Game 2 of this two-game series. The Mallards took game 1 last night from Warner Park at the Duck Pond on the north side of Madison, Wisconsin. Making his Mallards debut and digging into the right-handed batter's box, Jaden Lobliner from Kansas State University. We'll likely see him defensively for the first time at some point this weekend in the series with Lakeshore. Day off today for Canyon Brown. Braden Mazzone does the catching today. Logan Eisenbarth back to the mound for the Dock Spiders. And out of the stretch, the first pitch of the inning is taken for a strike by Jaden. Bryce Liedl had to get that out on that last pitch, or else the Mallards were going to the bullpen in the second inning. And Lobliner skies one into left center field. That's a long run for Cooney as he goes back to the track, and he will finally make the catch. It just kept carrying, and I believe the wind had something to do with that in the deepest part of left center. So Lobliner's first AB as a Mallard is a flyout. Now the first one for Braden Mazzone, making his debut as well. But pitching rules are strict here in the Northwoods League. If you throw 35 pitches in one single inning, a curveball's taken low and in to the lefty. If you throw 35 in a single inning, you are not allowed to go out there for another frame. And Donnie Scott, there's a fly ball. Deep right field. Back goes the right fielder Peterson. He's at the track and he will make the catch about 2 steps from the wall. A big golf swing from Braden Mazzone. That one almost left the yard if he's a right-hander and it's flown out to left. That one might have found itself beyond the fence. Nonetheless, 2 quick outs here in the second. And the other super strict rule for Northwoods League pitchers is if you throw 100 pitches, you eclipse 100, you can continue to pitch until the final out of that inning that you hit 100 in. First pitch, Jack Tucker has a curveball taken high. You are no longer allowed to come out to begin a new inning after 100 pitches. On 1-0, Tucker takes away, fastball. I'll tell you what, in the Wausau series, with both Caleb Kador and Philip Jean Louise behind the plate, that is a strike. Jack Tucker fouls off. Strike 1 to make it 2 balls and a strike in the count. Two-two, Mallards and Dock Spiders. Game 2 of this 2-game series. Game 4 of the season. 2-1 pitch. It is a high fastball that Jack misses on. You'd never guess what he did in his first at-bat. He walked. He's now got 7 of them on the season. On 2-2, in on the hands and popped up foul. Now to play. Mentioned it back in the first inning. Both Tucker and Taylor have been on every single time in the first inning they've come to the plate this season as Tucker spoils off the 2-2. That is a special duo at the top of the order. The Mallards just didn't really have last season. J.J. Rollon was a good leadoff man, but they couldn't find that number 2 batter. On 2-2, a swing and just a tap foul that got away from Grossman, the Dock Spiders catcher. Eisenbarth thought he had strike 3. He struck out Goolsby looking in the first inning. That's his only strikeout. Two-two is a called strike 3. Jack Tucker goes down looking. And he's got some words with the home plate umpire, Powell. The score is 2-2 from Harebaker Field here in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, on your home for Madison Mallards Baseball. Here come the Dock Spiders in the bottom of the second inning. Bryce Liedl back out there after nearly not being able to pitch in the second inning. Through 34 pitches in the bottom of the first. 7 batters came to the plate. 8-9-1 due up for the Dock Spiders in a 2-2 ball game from Hairbaker Field here in sunny Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. The beginning of 6 in a row on the road for the Mallards. Chad Herrera, who did not play yesterday, steps in and checks the swing at the first pitch. A called strike on a slider to begin the at-bat. The Mallards 2 hits in the top of the first. Fond du Lac 1 in the bottom. Second pitch, a swing and a miss. Beautiful pinpointed pitch by Liedl that the left-handed Herrera just waved at and missed way outside. And it looked like he didn't have a chance as he stands about half a foot away from the chalk on the inside part of the plate, the 0-2 elevated. Gonna be a long road trip for the Northsiders.
Joey.
Good count for Liedl. It's 1-2. Looking to put away Herrera here. And he slices it foul. 1 here in Fond du Lac, and then 2 up at beautiful Capco Park against the Lakeshore Chinooks, and then 2 in, I'll tell you what, a place the Mallards haven't won in a while, Wisconsin Rapids. On 1-2, it's low and in. Even count at 2-2 now with Chad Herrera. The Mallards, they have not beaten Wisconsin Rapids in Wisconsin Rapids since June 11th of 2021. 2 balls, 2 strikes, fastball outside. Loaded count with nobody away here in the second inning. 2-2 tie between the Dock Spiders and the Mallards. And then after 2 against the Rafters, 1 game at historic Simmons Field in Kenosha. First time the 2 teams have played since 2021. On 3-2, a swing and a miss. Bryce Liedl puts away Herrera. And there is the 3rd strikeout for Bryce. So we know Bryce Liedl to be more of a strikeout pitcher. And that has remained true here through an inning and a third. Right-handed bat Luke Nowitzki. Dock Spider for a 2nd consecutive season digs in and taps it back to Liedl right over his head. Shortstop Shatterton charges between his legs, bobbles it, error, E6. It just continues here in Madison. The Mallards worst in the league in fielding percentage through the first 3 games. They commit their first error here this afternoon now. First pitch was at 11:35. It's now 12:14 p.m. Central Time. So the first morning start of the season for Madison. And I think Chatterton might luck out here. They might score that as a single. First pitch to the leadoff man, Whitman, gets away from the catcher, Mazzone. He had to scoot to his left to try and block it, and the base runner, Nowitzki, takes off for second. And they're going to give him a hit. Didn't bring my white out with me in the scorebook. Good for the Mallards statistically, but for the scorebook, no good. No eraser as I use pen. 1 ball in the count to Whitman, a swing and a miss. He went down on strikes his first time just an inning ago. Turns around, asks the home plate umpire, Parker Powell, if that would have been a strike, and he shakes his head no. Quick conversation between the two. On 1-1 from Liedl, Whitman takes just a bit higher than that last pitch, and I think that conversation, although quick, may have paid off for him. Here in the second inning of Game 2 in this series between Mallards and Dock Spiders. Here's a delivery on the 2-1. It's a slider way outside, and Bryce Liedl, he's either been locked in an AB or he's been wild here in his first start of the season. The Mallards' first 3 starters have been good this season, and Bryce Liedl trying to keep this a tied 2-2 game here in the second as Whitman fouls off. And it's 3-2. Liedl readies with the payoff. Here's the pitch. Into the outside corner and swatted foul. The Mallards, 3 games into the season, sitting at 2-1. They were treading water around 500 in the first half of last season. In fact, they were an even 18-18 through the first 36, but couldn't put it together in the second half of the season for a variety of reasons. A 3-2 pitch. Taken for ball 4, just off the K-zone. High and outside. So to try and turn the walk into good light, the force out is back in play. The Mallards have turned 2 double plays through 3 games. Travis Strickler walked and was the first run scored by the Dock Spiders in the first inning. A big cut on the 0-1 pitch now. First strike past the bat of Strickler. He walked in a good approach in his first AB, and then Seth Sweetchick was hit by a pitch. Both of those runners came around to score. The 1-strike pitch. There's a slider right past the swinging bat of Strickler. Just rolls up his pants. You can see the stirrups just above his white Nike cleats that have been dirtied up from his short experience here at Hairbaker Field. Mazzone sets up on 0-2. Fastball away. Mazzone had to look at it because he plucked it out of the air on a fastball away. Two-two ball game from Fond du Lac. Mallards 2 in the first, Dock Spiders 2 in the first. Nowitzki, the runner at second, on an infield single and a walk from Paul Whitman. He's over at first base. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch outside corner, missed it on a fastball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Strickler rubs his hands together, both hands to the bat. Taps the plate 1 time, shakes a little bit, now shakes his arms again and waves the maple ash bat just over the left shoulder slightly. Liedl unwinds, loads, the 2-2 pitch, swung on and missed, and Liedl has now struck out both outs in this inning. So now Seth Sweetchick, he was hit by a Liedl slider an inning ago on the top hand. Seems to be okay. I think it might have gotten both of his hands the way that it awkwardly smacked onto his white batting gloves. But he's got an RBI opportunity here to give the Dock Spiders the lead. Slider away, ball 1 to the right-handed batter. Sometimes I won't understand some baseball players. He wears batting gloves, well, he bats, but he's got batting gloves in his back right pocket. And I think the batting gloves that he's wearing now, the white ones, are for show while at the plate. There's a fastball for a strike. And then the other gloves he has in his back right pocket, there's 2 of them. Look like a combination of gray and navy blue. And likely to dirty those ones up and keep the white ones all spunky as he wears wrist tape around both his left and right arms. 1-1 pitch from Liedl. There's a high fastball to make it 2-1. A strikeout of Herrera. An infield single that could have been called an error for Nowitzki. But he gets a hit in the column regardless. A walk to Whitman and a strikeout of Strickler. Liedl looking to dance out of damage again. Big swing and a miss from Seth Sweetchick, wearing 23 in the Fond du Lac white. And even 2-2 in the count with Bryce Liedl. From the stretch, stares in, delivers a swing and a miss on a slider away. Mazzone will tag Sweet Chick, and that'll do it for the bottom of the second inning. Bryce Liedl, a job well done to avoid some damage here in Fond du Lac. A 2-2 tie here on your home for Madison Mallards baseball. Two the score from Fond du Lac, Wisconsin here at Hairbaker Field. Mallards looking for their first series sweep of the season behind starting pitcher Bryce Liedl. 2 runs in the first for the Northsiders and 2 runs in the bottom of the first for Fond du Lac. The Mallards simply did not play good baseball at this park a year ago, including a couple of different blowouts. The Dock Spiders had a really loaded middle of their order, led by Vanderbilt's Parker Nolan. Two, 3, 4 for the Ducks. Keenan Taylor leads off. First pitch from Eisenbarth is into right field. Peterson locates it and puts away the first out on 1 pitch. Now 5 consecutive put away by Logan Eisenbarth. The right-hander from Wisconsin, Whitewater, makes his first start here in the Northwoods League. Chatterton squares to bunt and pulls back on a breaking ball past the bat for strike 1. The third baseman, Surrain, has retreated back behind the bag at third base, not expecting Chatterton to try and lie one down again. He's swinging all the way here, and he takes a fastball for a strike. Nods his head yes, and quickly digs back in. The all-blue uniforms for the Mallards, the red gloves stand out for Jackson. A swing and a miss, fastball away. And Chatterton strikes out for the first time this season on the 3rd strikeout of the day from Eisenbarth. I'll tell you what, the first inning took a combined 29 minutes. And the Dock Spiders and Mallards have been ripping through the last inning and a half so far. Really an inning and 2/3 as Jake Goolsby took ball 1 on a breaking ball. Second pitch is popped up left side. Surrain will run out of room and just watch it sail. Strikeouts of Tucker, Goolsby, and Chatterton. Second time for Jake now at the plate. There's a loopy breaking ball, a curveball that's way high. But it just kind of stood up there in the air for a while between the mound and the plate. There's a pitch to Goolsby. That's into left field. Easy play for Strickler. He measures it and makes the catch. Now 7 in a row put down by Logan Eisenbarth. It's a 2-2 ball game from Hairbaker Field in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. We'll be right back on your home of Madison Mallards baseball. 2-2 from Hairbaker Field here in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. Bottom of the third inning on tap, and the Mallards have opted to go to the bullpen for the first time this afternoon. It's the 6-foot sophomore from Washington University in St. Louis, Hank Weiss, hometown of Chagrin Falls, Ohio. Bryce Liedel's day is done after just 2 innings, 2 hits, 3 walks and a hit by pitch, 2 earned runs, and a statistic that Mallards fans should get used to, 5 strikeouts. Bryce struck out the side in the bottom of the second inning with Fondy at the plate. A strikeout of Herrera, then a single and a walk. 2 consecutive strikeouts, stranded 2 on base. Jack Peterson, cleanup hitter, will lead off for Fond du Lac. A quick conversation between the battery mates at Washington University in St. Louis, Braden Mazzone and Hank Weiss. Braden says he really likes the stuff that Hank has. Not his first rodeo in the Northwoods League. Spent last summer with Battle Creek in the Battle Jacks. First pitch of his Mallards debut is a strike. That's a nice-looking slider from Hank Weiss. To the left-handed batter, Jack Peterson came right through the back door and settled over the middle of the plate. On 0-1, Peterson swings and misses. It's 0-2. Just a lot of movement, Braden said. He said he caught him at Washington, and the movement on his fastball especially is pretty similar to the way that Will Simmons has his fastball move over at North Carolina. The Mallards used him a bit last night on 3 pitches. He wastes away Jack Peterson. A fastball on the outside part of the plate, a swing and a miss from the lefty. And the first strikeout of the Mallards' career for Hank Weiss. The Mallards struck out 10 as a team last night for the first time since late July of last season. And the first pitch in the at-bat to Cooney is a slider up and away. The Mallards in their road aquas today. Fond du Lac in their home whites, similar uniforms to what they wore last year here at home. The Mallards have changed just a bit as Weiss misses the strike zone on the inside corner with a slider. Doc Spiders uniforms read Doc Spiders across the chest. Away uniforms for them read Fond du Lac in navy blue. On 2-0. There's a swing and a miss. Hank Weiss is pumping it in there right now with the fastball and coming right back at him with the slider. Cooney was the only backwards K for Bryce Liedel this afternoon in his first start. 2-1 pitch, fastball way outside. Cooney readjusts his batting gloves. Hank Weiss ready to fire. From the stretch at all times, comes set just above the letters and then slowly brings it down to above the belt. 3-1 pitch is a slider low and away, and Cooney is the first base runner against Hank Weiss in the career at Madison. Hank improved tremendously in his sophomore season this spring, dropped his ERA from 5.5 to under 3. Went from an 0-1 record his freshman season to 2-0 as a sophomore. Jake Surrain steps into the right side. First pitch to a righty from Weiss is a slider high. This spring, he struck out twice as many batters. He had a career day in mid-March in his only start of the season. through 5 innings and punched out a career-high 11. A sweeper is blocked nicely by Mazzone. He's used to doing that for Hank Weiss. They would throw bullpens together at Washington University in St. Louis. And now it's kind of scheduled that Hank would throw on the day that Mazzone would be behind the plate. 2 balls in the count to Surrain as he waits on it. Off first base is the base runner Cooney, and a fastball's up and in. A good count for Surrain as the Dock Spiders look to take the lead here in the third. The 3-ball pitch is up and in again. Back-to-back walks from Hank Weiss after striking out the leadoff man Peterson. Sean Brown stays put, and here comes the catcher, Jake Grossman, now 0 for 12 in his first couple of games. Didn't play yesterday, back behind the plate today for the Dock Spiders. He has 4 RBIs. They all came in the series against Green Bay, where the Dock Spiders went 0-2. And every single time, it was on some kind of a walk with the bases loaded. There's a first pitch sweeper in there for a strike. It's 0-1. From the first base side of the rubber for Hank Weiss. He comes set, looks back towards second. The pitch to Grossman is a slider towards the first base side and foul. Couldn't hug the line. All first-year coaches for the Dock Spiders. Doug Coe brought in a group of Joe Morris as the hitting coach from Wagner, and Rowdy Yates, the pitching coach from Southern Arkansas. 2 strikes in the count. The pitch home, a swing and a miss from Grossman. And a big out to get for Hank Weiss. Chad Herrera will come to the plate. No errors today on Madison, but 9 combined through the first 3 games and a league low fielding percentage. Here comes the first pitch to Herrera after a long pause from Weiss. Fastball called strike outside part of the plate, and I mean outside. Been a bit inconsistent today for a home plate umpire, Parker Powell, but has been a zone that's pretty thin but will extend to the outside and inside parts of the plate. On 1-0, he scoops it into left field. Charging is the left fielder Tucker. He will come on and make the catch. That kid's got speed like a video game, doesn't he? 2-2 tie. We'll head to the top of the 4th inning here from Hairbaker Field in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, on your home of Madison Mallards baseball. Get ready for Women's Summer Collegiate Softball. Northwoods League Softball is beginning play in the summer of 2024. Find out more about Northwoods League Softball at northwoodsleague.com/softball. Make sure to follow them on Twitter at NWL Softball. 2-2 Fond du Lac and Wisconsin and Madison here in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. Dylan Nevar leads off for the Mallards, and he takes ball one low from Logan Eisenbarth, starting pitcher for the Dock Spiders. No action down in the bullpen. It seems like it's him now for a little while as Nevar on the ground towards the right side. That is a backhand stop by Sweetchick, and he will race over to the bag, stomp on it with his right foot, and there is one away in the Madison fourth. So Eisenbarth so far didn't look great in the first inning, but has certainly settled in as Corbin Dickerson takes a nice looking curveball for strike one. Corbin drove in a run and then stole a bag with a single back in the first. Another curveball is chopped foul to the third base side. The next pitch will be number 50 from Eisenbarth. 3 strikeouts, a walk, and 2 unearned runs. Makes for a good stat line for his first start. The 0-2 pitch. In on the hands, and he pushes it towards first base. Sweetchick will walk to the bag. Dickerson will stop halfway, and there are 2 outs here in the top of the fourth inning. Davis Hamilton, as 9 Mallards consecutively have been put down. He was the beginning of the stretch for Logan Eisenbarth with a pop out to the shortstop back in the first inning, which ended the Mallards' threat. First pitch breaking ball finds the inside corner for strike one. Second pitch in the AB. As the fastball taken low, it's 1 ball and 1 strike with Davis. Eisenbarth working very quickly. Remember, 20 on that pitch clock as Davis takes a massive swing and misses at strike 2. Eisenbarth got right up to the bump and threw that pitch with 14 still left on the pitch clock. Similar number here. The leg raises at 14 seconds, and Hamilton takes a fastball high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 away in the top of the fourth inning. Both the Mallards and Dock Spiders, 2 runs in the top of the first. A curveball is left too high as well, and Davis Hamilton doing what he does best, providing the Mallards with a patient bat at the plate, especially in the bottom third of the order. Waves the bat out once and readies for the payoff pitch. Eisenbarth delivers on a fastball swatted foul. An early start for the Mallards today. 11:35 first pitch. The rest of this road trip will be night games for the Ducks. There's ball 4, a fastball low. Good at bat there by Davis Hamilton to break this stretch for Eisenbarth. So after 9 consecutive put away, here comes Jaden Lobliner with a base runner at first base. First base runner for the Ducks since the first inning when Dickerson singled. First pitch in the at-bat to Lobliner. Aggressive first swinging, and it's fouled off. Mallards do have action in their bullpen. Not quite sure who it is. A blocked view here from the broadcast booth. 1 strike. Eisenbarth steps off. There's the 1 disengagement while Lobliner's at the plate. And a reset of the pitch clock. No balls, 1 strike. Runner on first base, and Hamilton dives back safely. Lobliner waiting on that 0-1. Been a patient bat here in the second AB of his Mallards career on 0-1. Slider away, gets away from the catcher. Grossman will not make a throw to second base as Hamilton scampers in safely. So a runner in scoring position now and a chance at the lead with Lobliner at the plate. The Mallards DH today. Just got in yesterday. Lobliner waves the bat out one time and waits on the pitch. A fastball outside to make it 2-1. A good swing in his first at-bat. Didn't play all too much at Kansas State this spring. There's a swing and a fly ball into left. Strickler under it, and he will make the catch. That'll do it here in the fourth inning. It's a 2-2 tie from Fond du Lac here at Hairbaker Field on your home for Madison Mallards baseball. Hey fans, the Northwoods League is proud to partner with the authentic Stadium Mustard this season. For over 50 years, Stadium Mustard has been offered at stadiums, ballparks, and arenas coast to coast, and the Mallards are proud to be serving Stadium Mustard back at home at Warner Park, the Duck Pond. Loved by millions, Stadium Mustard also here at Hairbaker Field in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. It's a 2-2 tie between Mallards and Dock Spiders. Game 2 of this home-and-home series between the two clubs. The Mallards 4-8 a season ago against Fondy. The Dock Spiders outscored the Mallards by a tremendous amount a season ago as Hank Weiss goes back to work. A good time to review last night's schedule in the Northwoods League. Of course, final score of 9-4 between Mallards and Dock Spiders a night ago at Warner Park. Will Simmons, fantastic in relief, picked up his first win of the season. Will Morris picked up the save as they took down Tyler Peck and Fond du Lac. Wausau, an offensive explosion from Athletic Park. They knocked off Lakeshore 11-5. Here's Luke Nowitzki stepping in and taking a slider low. And then finally, in 10 innings, Green Bay won their second extra inning game of the season, 5-4 at Capital Credit Union Park in Green Bay. 1-0 pitch. Another breaker away. 2 balls in the count with Hank Weiss and Luke Nowitzki. Two balls, no strikes. Here's the pitch. And a fastball high, a bad count now. Over in the Great Lakes East, Kalamazoo took down Battle Creek 6-2. Kenosha and Rockford, a good game, 8-6. Kenosha's look sharp out of the gate. Kokomo and Traverse City, 6-5 Jackrabbits final. They walked off the pit spitters a night ago. There's a called strike. Hank Weiss trying to climb back in the count. Nowitzki singled in his last at-bat, one of 2 Dock Spiders hits today. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. And there's a called strike. Excuse me, now it's 3-2. last pitch is 3-1. Been a pretty tight race in the early going across at least the Great Lakes East. Green Bay undefeated here in the West. Payoff coming from Weiss. It's bounced towards the left side and fouled by about 4 feet. Keenan Taylor was racing to his right. Five different extra inning games last night. Kokomo will walk off. Mankato will walk off against the Hot Tots in their first season in the Northwoods. Green Bay walked off. Bismarck walked off. Lacrosse walked off as well. Nowitzki, a foul ball back to the screen, and the Mallards, they haven't walked off since the early stages of 2021. No walk-offs a season ago in what was obviously a tough season for the team. Lowly 26-46 record. Full count with Nowitzki for Hank Weiss. Raises his left leg and fires home. There's a line drive through the gap on the left side, and it's a base hit to lead off the fourth. So here's Paul Whitman. Third time through for the Dock Spiders now, and the left-handed swinging German into the box. It's very rare that, number one, that many games will go to extra innings in one night. And then to add on top of it as Weiss picks over to first, sliding back safe is Nowitzki. And then to pile on top of that the fact that in all 5 games, the home team won on a walk-off. Just not usual to see. First pitch in the count to Whitman here on the way from Weiss, and it's tapped foul behind home plate. Only 3 games into the season. Mallards playing the early game today. Stream can be found on ESPN Plus or home radio for Madison here on YouTube Live. Whitman squares to bunt. Charging is the third baseman Taylor. Weiss pitches. It's popped up to the first base side, and it is caught by the first baseman Goolsby. And that's not what Whitman intended, as he just pushed it up into the air, and Goolsby, just like yesterday in the game against Fondy, he was pretty much, say, about 10 steps, not feet, 10 steps, good-sized steps away from home plate, just waiting there, and I believe it was Whitman as well. He squared to bunt, then he pulled back, and Jake, right on the pitch, he just kind of turned away. And he was there that time for out number 1 to help out Weiss. First pitch to Strickler is popped up and out of play left side. But through 3 games, 2-1 through the first 4 teams in the Great Lakes East: Kalamazoo, Kenosha, Kokomo, and Traverse City. Battle Creek 1-2, Rockford winless 0-3. Weiss above script Madison, brings the glove down below it now as he comes set. On 0-1, Strickler lays off the high cheddar. And here in the West, Green Bay 3-0, Madison 2-1, Wausau 2-1. Lakeshore and Wisconsin Rapids both at 1-2, and Fond du Lac looking for their first win of the season here today against the Mallards. 1 ball, 1 strike in the count. Pitch from Weiss, a swing and a miss to make it 1-2 on a low breaking ball, a sweeper. Over in the Great Plains East, Lacrosse 3-0, Rochester 2-1, tied with Thunder Bay. Welcome back to the Canadians in the league. Tied for second place over there, and Duluth at 0-2, Eau Claire and Waterloo at 0-3. Weiss will check back over to first, and then finally in the Great Plains West, Bismarck a strong start. They are 3-0. Wilmer at 1-0. Mankato 2-1. St. Cloud 2-1. Mud Puppies have yet to play a game, and finally the Hot Tots of Minot are 0-3. Good leadoff first base for Luke Nowitzki, and that pitch is fouled off to the backstop for Travis Strickler. 2-2 tie ball game. Bottom of the 4th inning here from Hairbaker Field in Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin. Mallards and Dock Spiders, final game of the series. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Weiss misses with a fastball just up and out. Academics Day here at the ballpark from Hairbaker Field. Plenty of school kids running around, especially this third base side. A decent crowd for Fond du Lac. A fastball up and in. The letters in on the hands to load up the count again. Here's pitch number 17 of the inning from Hank Weiss on the 3-2. That hit him. And Strickler will take first base here in the 4th inning. Potential offense brewing for the Dock Spiders. Sean Brown has relayed to Nick Argento to get a Mallard up and loose. Trying to get a look at who that's going to be for Madison. It's a tough angle to see who it will be from the view up here in the booth, and a big part of the order coming up for the Dock Spiders, Seth Sweetchick, the Nevada Wolfpack member. First pitch to him is popped up. The Mallards can't find it. Hank Weiss calls everyone off. The pitcher wants to make the grab, and he dropped it in fair play. Mazzone, it's an infield fly, calls home plate umpire Parker Powell a delayed call. Mazzone was going to go to third, and that's just unfortunate for Seth Sweetchick as he has to make a slow, somber walk back to the dugout. That was a long-awaited call from Parker Powell to call the infield fly. It's not often that you'll see the pitcher of all people try and call the third baseman off. That was not going to be a play made by Mazzone, the catcher. It simply wasn't going to be. So now 2 away in the left-handed swinging Jack Peterson. And a sweeper is swung on and tapped back to the screen. So 2 unexpected outs, to say the least. A pop-up bunt off the bat of Paul Whitman. Then an infield fly rule from Seth Sweetchick on the first pitch. 0-1 to Peterson. The pitch is popped up. Keenan Taylor will sprint towards the third base side, and he will make a sliding catch to end the inning. He slid simply to avoid the wall, and the Mallards third baseman, a position that has had some trouble in the early going fielding-wise, keeps it at a 2-2 ball game from Hairbaker Field here on your home for Madison Mallards baseball. Still 2-2, a scoreless last 3 frames for both clubs after what was a 30-minute first inning here from Hairbaker Field in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. Zach Linfield here with you. So glad that everyone can be along for Game 4 of 72 this season for the Madison Mallards. A fun ride expected. Donnie Scott is very excited about his roster this season, as is Sam Rubin, Mallards GM, and now President Vern Stenman. Braden Mazzone steps in. Logan Eisenbarth back to work. Fastball pinpointed for strike one, outside corner. 3 Doc Spiders hits, 2 Mallards hits. 1 error on Fond du Lac, none on the Mallards. Mazzone takes strike 2 on a fastball. Back-to-back takes to begin his second AB as a Mallard. Flew out to the deepest part of right field. His first at-bat. Back up the middle. This is going to be a single for Mazzone. Past the diving second baseman Nowitzki. It was a prayer that he would get up to his feet and throw it. But nonetheless, first hit of the Mallards' career for Mazzone, the catcher. Been an efficient day on the mound for Eisenbarth past the first. This next pitch will be number 65 as Jack Tucker steps in. Fastball high. He's had the ability to lay off the first pitch in all 3 at-bats so far today. Back up the middle. Nowitzki ranges over on a backhand. A nice play over to the shortstop, Herrera. And Jack Tucker is safe at first base without a throw. It looked like for a moment it could be a base hit, but Luke Nowitzki, the returner for Fond du Lac, makes a nice play out of backhand to put one away here in the 5th. So now Keenan Taylor, the Purdue Boilermaker. And over to first base, a pickoff move gets Tucker. And Jack got caught leaning. I think he was going to be moving on the pitch. And just like that, the bases are cleared off. First time a Mallard has been picked off this season through 4 games. A good-looking move from Eisenbarth, and Keenan Taylor takes a fastball up and in. And apologies on the delay. Here at Hairbaker Field, not only does the window not open in the booth in front of me as Keenan Taylor slices one into right center field. Long run for the right fielder Peterson, and he will make the catch as he glides over. We will bookmark this odd feel of a broadcast booth here at the stadium. 2-2 ball game from Fond du Lac on your home of Madison Mallards baseball. Get ready for Women's Summer Collegiate Softball. Northwoods League Softball is beginning play in the summer of 2024. Find out more about Northwoods League Softball at northwoodsleague.com/softball. Follow us on Twitter at NWL Softball. New pitcher for the Mallards is Josh Wintrow from Augustana College. The 2-punch of the 1-2 combo at Augustana with Harrison Bouchel, who was supposed to be a Mallard here but has since suffered an injury to his elbow. potentially would have been the ace of this Mallard staff in a 1-2 punch with him and Derek Salata, who started on opening day. But the unfortunate news for Harrison, and prayers for a speedy recovery for him. He's got talent out of a video game. Connor Cooney leads off for Fond du Lac in a 2-2 ball game. First pitch from Wintrobe misses outside on a fastball. Cooney, Surrain, Grossman for the Dock Spiders in the home 5th inning. A big wave and a miss makes it 1-1. Josh was one of the weekend starters, as mentioned, this spring at Augustana, Rock Island, Illinois. On 1-1. Breaking ball called strike. Deceptive out of the hand of Wintrobe. He put together an 8-2 record with an ERA at 2.5. 1-2 pitch. That's on the ground towards first. Fielded cleanly by Jake Goolsby. He will race to first base and stomp on it. And there's one away here in the home 5th.
Here now, the third baseman, Jake Surrain.
The stat that drops the jaw to the floor for Wintrobe is the strikeout numbers. He punched out 107 batters. And the walks, only 11 this spring. Just outstanding stuff at Augustana. First pitch breaking ball in there for a strike, and we can see why. When the Mallards are back home and you listeners out there are able to see on the stream, if not at Warner Park. Second pitch, slider away. Appealed onto first base is no good with Surrain at the plate. 1-1. He allows contact here and there, but was just a dominant force this spring for the Vikings. If he can replicate his numbers from the spring and apply that, well, with the Mallards, there's strike 2 into the outer corner. He'll likely be a mainstay for this club through the season, and I think at some point may crack that starting rotation. Here's the Saturday guy at Augustana. Tough to do that when Bouchel was the lead man. And scooting over to the right to block the 1-2 pitch is Mazzone, the catcher. He's got 2 different spins, a curveball and a slider. The Mallards, they may have to be careful, though, with Wintrobe with his inning limit. And that may be the reason for the short contract so far. A fastball is fouled off the helmet of Braden. And more life for Surrain. He's been on base twice today, and he is responsible for the 2 runs driven in for Fond du Lac. 2 Mallards runs in the first, 2 Dock Spiders runs in the half inning following that. Location is Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. Hairbaker Field, 2-2 ball game, 3 hits apiece. Pitch from Wintrobe is a breaking ball popped up down the first base line, and it will be just inches out of play. Smacks off the top of the Mallards dugout on the first base side. This isn't the first go-around for Wintrobe in the Northwoods League. He has 2 years of Northwoods League experience under his belt as he spent 2 summers with Wilmer in the Great Plains Division. On 2-2, that's popped up. Running back to his right is the second baseman Hamilton, and in shallow center field, he will make the grab.
He's the pitcher, Jake Grossman.
In 11 games for the Stingers, he pitched just under 30 innings. He was more efficient as a bullpen piece than he was a starter because he didn't have his best stuff 2 summers ago. Last summer, Josh found himself in the Western Canadian League playing north of the border. Although his team really struggled as a whole, Josh put up good numbers as there's a swing and a miss from Grossman. He's been struck out once today. Had a very, very misleading 2-5 record. He struck out 72, only walking 14 in the WCL. A pinpoint strike into the outer corner. Grossman behind 0-2 in a 2-2 ball game here in Fond du Lac. 6'4", 225 pounds, Josh Wintrobe. There's a swing and a miss. A beautiful inning from the Mallards reliever. An easy throw down to first base is scooped up by Goolsby. It's a 1-2-3 frame. 5 consecutive put away by Mallards pitching in a 2-2 tie here on your home for Madison Mallards Baseball. Northwoods League is giving you the opportunity to play NWL Lucky 7 every day for your shot at $100,000. You can find the NWL Lucky 7 game at northwoodsleague.com under the gaming tab. Answer 7 questions correctly about action in the Northwoods League and you could win $100,000. The game is free to play. You must be at least 21. Terms and conditions apply. 3-4-5 for the Ducks. Jackson Chatterton leads off, and here's a fly ball into right field. Peterson barely has to move. He will shuffle his feet a few times and put down Chatterton on one pitch. That's pretty much been the story of the day after the first inning for Logan Eisenbarth. His next pitch will be number 70, but after the lengthy first inning, he has really settled in and given Fond du Lac quite the performance across 5 1/3 so far. First pitch swinging into right field off the bat of Jake Goolsby. And he's got himself a single. He's on for the first time today. Braden Mazzone singled an inning ago. So that was the last Mallards base hit, but now Goolsby over at first base and Dylan Nevar stepping in. An even 70 pitches now for Eisenbarth. First pitch to Nevar, outside corner. Beautiful pitch for strike one. There's a second pitch in the AB, and Nevar takes low. Goolsby off first. Eisenbarth comes set at the Fond du Lac script across his chest. Nevar swings and pops this one up. Shallow right, high into the air. Peterson and Nowitzki. Nowitzki makes a backpedaling catch in shallow right. So 2 away for Corbin Dickerson. 2-2 ball game, top of the 6th inning from Fond du Lac. Mallards on a 6-game road trip beginning today. 2 up in Mequon beginning tomorrow against the Chinooks, then 2 against the Rafters at Witter Field. Then 1 with Kenosha. First pitch foul ball inside to Corbin Dickerson. Picked up his first base hit in yesterday's game, an RBI with it, and pretty similar today. RBI single in the first, a ground out to the first baseman an inning ago. Taking off to second base is Goolsby. He'll be in there with not only an awkward slide, but without a throw. Not all the speed in the world for Goolsby, but he's now swiped 2 bags and an RBI opportunity for Dickerson. An elevated fastball makes it 2-1. Two balls, 1 strike. Decent lead at second base for Goolsby. 2-2 ball game. Dickerson takes, and it's 3-1. There's a changeup low from Eisenbarth. And really for the first time today, there's some serious movement down in the bullpen for Fondy. 3 balls and a strike. Waiting on deck, Davis Hamilton. On 3-1, Dickerson swings and fouls it off behind the first base dugout. A full count on what is potentially the last batter faced of the day for the right-handed starter Logan Eisenbarth from Wisconsin Whitewater. On 3-2, a fastball taken for ball 4. Blocked nicely by Grossman, the catcher, who's been pretty good behind the plate today for Fond du Lac. The catching yesterday came from Lorenzo Rios. So now an RBI opportunity for Davis Hamilton. Runners on first and second, 2 away, first pitch. And he scoops it towards the shortstop. He'll take the easy one at second base. Herrera to Nowitzki to put away the Mallards in the 6th inning. Mallards leave a runner on base in a 2-2 ball game here on your home for Madison Mallards baseball. Bottom of the 6th inning from Harebaker Field in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. The Mallards pitching staff today has put together a good performance in the strikeout category with 8 combined Ks. Bryce Liedl got the start. Hank Weiss followed up. And Josh Wintrobe with one of the most impressive innings of the season so far. In the bottom of the 5th, he struck out 1, a weak ground out to first, and a wimpy pop out to the second baseman Hamilton. Strikeout numbers are always there for Bryce Liedl. He K'd 5 today. He walked 3 and hit a batter. Hank Weiss walked 2, struck out 2. First pitch to Herrera is fouled off behind home plate, and Josh Wintrobe's day continues. His first pitch of inning number 6 was number 15 overall. On 0-1, Herrera takes ball low and in on that curveball that we talked about an inning ago. As Wintrobe's delivery is a bit deceptive. The way it comes out of his hand, it just starts rotating, and the revolution on the ball is something spectacular. As Herrera slaps off the 1-1, it's 1-2. Comes from a higher arm slot, but Wintrobe's body is down towards the ground. And then all of a sudden, the curveball just starts spinning, and it moves low and into a lefty. It's a tough pitch to hit. A fastball misses away to level up the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and a 2-2 ball game from Harebaker. 2-2 pitch is swung on and missed. There's the curveball. It was high, and it didn't even die that much this time off the hand of Wintrobe. Back-to-back strikeouts for him. He's seen 4 batters. He's put down all 4. Mallards looking to change their luck here against Fond du Lac. They only won 1 game here a season ago. First pitch fastball is just outside as Mazzone, the catcher, has to reach across his body. Luke Nowitzki is 2 for 2, 2 singles, stranded on second both times. 2nd and 4th innings, bats here in the 6th against Josh Wintrobe. Second pitch, beautiful, into the outside corner, perfect 90-degree angle strike zone for Parker Powell these last couple of innings on that outside edge. 1 ball and a strike to Nowitzki, the right-handed batter at second base. And he'll pop this one up into right field. Charging, right fielder Nevar will slide, and he will not make the catch. He had it, and he dropped it. Davis Hamilton is out there to retrieve it about 10 strides into right field. Nevar playing maybe just a bit too deep, and Nowitzki plunked it right in between Hamilton and Nevar. So here's the top of the order, Paul Whitman, who homered in last night's game. 3 for 3 for Luke Nowitzki. Second hit allowed by the Mallards bullpen so far. First pitch fastball up and away to Whitman. He comes set just below script Madison on the 1-0 pitch. There's a high fly ball into right field. Long run for Nevar. Tracking it towards the foul line will make the catch just in foul territory. Whitman walked 1 time in the 2nd, struck out in the 1st, and popped up a bunt in the 4th. So here comes Travis Strickler. He's been on base twice today. He walked and scored. He was the first base runner for the Dock Spiders in the 1st. He was then hit by a pitch in the 4th inning by Hank Weiss. First pitch from Wintrobe is swung and tapped into the glove of Braden Mazzone, making his Mallards debut today behind the plate. One other Duck making his first appearance, Jaden Lobliner, the Mallards DH. Runner on first base is Nowitzki, and Wintrobe will sidearm sling a pickoff move over to first base. Goolsby ready for it. Lobliner will lead off the top of the 7th prior to the stretch. We'll likely see a new Dock Spiders arm for the first time today. A fastball beautifully in there for a strike. Wintrobe, he's pitching away to lefties, and then that curveball comes low and into him, and it's a bit unexpected, and that's what struck out Herrera, although it was kept high. No balls, 2 strikes to pitch. There's a curveball nowhere close, and it will fly to the backstop. It just left the arm of Wintrobe the wrong way, and the 2-hole hitter Strickler will have it at 1-2 with the runner now on second base. Becoming pretty routine for Nowitzki to at least make it to second. The first time he was on base back in the second inning, he singled over to the shortstop as the grass just killed it behind Bryce Liedl. He was advanced to second on a walk, and then in the fourth inning, he singled and advanced on a hit by pitch. The man at the plate now, Strickler, advanced to second here on a wild pitch on 1-2. There's a curveball, same spot that got Herrera, but Strickler lays off. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two balls, 2 strikes. The pitch from Wintrobe is into right field, and Goolsby backpedaling 180s and makes a leaping catch in the shallowest part of right field. Thought he got more on it than he actually did. 2-2 tie. Both teams knotted at 4 hits apiece. Final third of this ball game on deck. Top of the 7th coming in a 2-2 tie on your home for Madison Mallards baseball. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by 5 Tool Ale, the official beer of the Northwoods League. Look for 5 Tool Ale at select league ballparks or find 5 Tool Ale at festival food stores in Wisconsin. Remember to drink responsibly, designate a driver, and get home safe. Top of the 7th inning from Harebaker Field here in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. Jaden Lobliner will lead off for the Mallards. 8, 9, and 1. Josh Wintrobe, 2 strong innings in relief. And back out there, Logan Eisenbarth. First pitch to Lobliner is a fastball that's elevated, bounces off the glove of Grossman, the catcher. Lobliner, 2 flyouts. Deep center field back in the second, and in left field, routine depth. Here's a line drive into right field, right at the right fielder, Peterson, and he makes a catch down by the knees as he sprints in towards the infield. Lobliner got good contact. And he was near 2 or 3 feet away from having his first hit of the season. But Peterson had a good read on it. It was a line drive that dove and dove and dove, and all of a sudden found its way into his light tan mitt over in right field. Braden Mazzone takes a fastball high. Second pitch to him is a fastball that bounces up and gets the home plate umpire, Parker Powell, on the hand. I think it got his wrist, a fastball that's about 90 miles an hour. He will gingerly walk in front of home plate. He'll hold off his fellow umpires. He'll take a moment, remove his mask, have a conversation with Grossman and Eisenbarth before trying to resume play. He'll make a slow walk back to behind the plate. He waves his fellow umpires away, says, "Go away." As well as the athletic trainer says, "I don't need you." So a good count for Braden Mazzone at 2-0. Had to take a moment. Eisenbarth got a good one to try and locate this fastball that's in there for a strike. Mazzone's first hit as a Mallard came 2 innings ago in the 5th. He swings and ropes one down the right field line foul past the new Mallards assistant coach this season, Nick Fazio. Yet to be known whether or not Nick will continue to coach first base once Harrison Heffley arrives on June 5th. He'll join the Mallards during this road trip, a wedding after coaching his first season at SEMO. Here's a high fly ball into right field. Peterson going back to the track, and he will make the catch about 5 feet in front of it. Braden Mazzone has had a good swing today. A chop single up the middle, a high drive to right his first time up in a more of a straight shot line drive fly out here to right field for the second out in the 7th inning. Looks like Josh Wintrobe will go back out there for another inning for Madison. Top of the order here, Jack Tucker. Second pitch, breaking ball misses low. It's 1-1. Jack walked and scored in the first, struck out looking in the second. A fielder's choice back in the 5th. He swings and taps it foul here to make it 1-2. I feel like I've said it 100 times already that this could be the last batter for Logan Eisenbarth. He's at 90 pitches now, a breaking ball. Checked his swing. Yes, he went around. And Jack Tucker is struck out here in the top of the 7th inning. He's frustrated with the home plate umpire, who has bruised up Parker Powell. And that'll do it for the top of the 7th. Stretch time here from Fond du Lac in a 2-2 tie on your home for Madison Mallards baseball. All stretched out from Hairbaker Field here in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. 2-2 tie ball game. All of the runs, all 4 of them combined between these two clubs coming in the first inning of this ball game. Good performance by Josh Wintrobe out of the bullpen. The Mallards' 2 relievers, Hank Weiss and Wintrobe. A scoreless 4 innings. They give way to the submarine thrower, Kevin Fee, out of Purdue Fort Wayne. He threw in the Mallards' opening day win against Wausau. Just 1 inning, he walked 1. But it was a good performance for him. In that 8th inning on Monday night, 3 groundouts were how he took care of the Wausau Woodchucks in the 7-0 win One to short, one to first, one to second base. 3-hole hitter Seth Sweetchick leads off for the Dock Spiders. Kevin Fee comes set at the belt. There's a submarine pitch, and it's chopped towards third. And Keenan Taylor, always all over it, slides in foul territory. Strike one. Sweetchick, certainly a journeyman in his 21 years so far. Originally from Melbourne, Australia, he's got dual citizenship. Went to high school in Tempe, Arizona, then committed to Kansas. There's another tap foul left side. Graduated in the class of 2020 as one of the top-ranked players in the state. Played in 40 games as a Jayhawk, but batted below 100 in his time in the Big 12 in Lawrence. He waits on the 0-2 here from Fee. Pitch is way outside. There's the sweeper from him. And then after the spring of 2022, Seth decided to enter the transfer portal and pledge to Nevada. This spring, he didn't play much for the Wolfpack as a junior, but will likely be a constant up in the top of the order for the Dock Spiders here this summer. On 1-2, another slider that gets past Mazzone. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes from Kevin Fee. Kevin uses all 6'5" of himself for that deception on the fastball, and he just misses a ball's width above the zone. Loads up the count with Sweetchick. The Dock Spiders have had a runner on in every single inning except for one. That was the 5th inning against Wintrove. There's a foul tap. Back to the backstop. It's still 3-2. The Mallards as a pitching staff looking to strike out. 10 combined in a ballgame for the second consecutive day. Sweetchick pops it up, right side. Goolsby charging in quickly. And the catcher Mazzone will not collide, and Goolsby will make the catch just in front of Donnie Scott here on the first base side. That's just a good job by Kevin Fee to avoid a leadoff base runner in the bottom of the 7th. The Mallards, especially on the road, only in one game, have not scored beyond the 2nd inning. First pitch to Peterson is bunted, but back behind home plate. Mazzone couldn't find it. And the home plate umpire, Parker Powell, who was struck by a bouncing fastball last inning, has an ice pack and heavy wrap around his right wrist. On 0-1, Peterson on the ground towards second, charging Hamilton on his forehand, flips to first, and there's 2 away in the home 7th inning.
Now the center fielder,
The defense for the Mallards today, although there hasn't been too much hard contact off the bat of the Dock Spiders, much improved. In fact, 6 errors better than the last time the team was on the road 2 nights ago. First pitch low and in past the knees of Connor Cooney, the lefty. The fun fact they put on the board here, ridiculous. He has 32 cousins. And now again low and in, this time up towards the belt to make it 2-0 with Kevin Fee. Me as a person with just 4 cousins looks at that and sees 32. On 2-0 on the ground towards Chatterton. An easy hop on the ground. Chatterton's throw, and not in time. Jake Goolsby was off the bag. It looked like his toe had just left the base. And hustling down to first base, Connor Cooney. And right as I say it, the Mallards commit an error. And that's just how it goes sometimes, I suppose, from up here in the booth. So here's Jake Surrain with the runner on board. First pitch swinging and taps it foul towards the Dock Spiders dugout. The right-hander Surrain. responsible for both Spiders' runs so far in this ball game, all the way back in the first. The one-strike pitch is fouled off behind home plate. Sean Brown, the Mallards pitching coach, gets up and grabs it. He saw the catcher Grossman on deck with his shin guard still on, warming up, and said, "I got it." Not too far of a run for Sean Brown, who was drafted by the Detroit Tigers. Didn't make it past A ball. The 0-2 pitch. There's a fastball from Fee. It's got some rise to it. Misses outside. A 1-2 count with Jake Surrain. 3 walks now in the season, 3 hits. Off first Cooney on 1-2. Surrain swings and fouls it off the right side. In Surrain's first season at Wisconsin Oshkosh in 2021, you could have argued he should have started and played more. It took until the final few weeks of the season for Oshkosh to consistently write his name in the lineup. On 1-2. That's off the plate, 2-2. In the final stretch spanning from May 7th until May 19th that year, he put together 6 multi-hit games, going 10 for his last 20 for a team 10 games over 500. There's a fastball again fouled off. A good at-bat here from Surrain. Since that period of time in 2021, Oshkosh, the past 2 seasons, hasn't gone a day without him in the order. In the past 2 seasons, he's played a total of 84 games, batting in the 350s consistently and hitting for quite a bit of power. 32 doubles, 6 triples, and 7 long balls. Here's a fly ball into left field. Jack Tucker ranges over, routine depth, and makes the catch. Still 2-2, all 4 runs in this ball game. Coming back in the first, Kevin Fee, good out of the bullpen. On your home for Madison Mallards baseball. Madison 2, Fond du Lac 2. Game 2 of this home-and-home set between the 2 clubs. And I think the Mallards might be able to exhale maybe a touch with Logan Eisenbarth's day being done. Finally, after 91 pitches, 7 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, neither of them earned, 3 walks and 4 punch-outs. The new pitcher for the Dock Spiders is Zach Goudreau, the left-hander from northeastern Oklahoma A&M and a Canadian from Quebec, Canada. Not a big frame, just 5'10", 175. And he takes over for Eisenbarth against the early heart of the Mallards order, Taylor, Chatterton, Goolsby. Goudreau will work from the windup and will deliver home. First pitch, Taylor takes fastball outside. Holds the glove in front of his face into his motion, delivers a fastball into the outer corner for a called strike. 1-1 in the count with Taylor. Been on base one time today, 1 for 3. Takes fastball away, 2-1. Quick work for Goudreau. Fastball is nowhere close, and the Mallards are one ball away from putting their leadoff man on here in the top of the 8th inning. In a 2-2 tied up ball game. Second year for Goudreau here in Fond du Lac. Misses with fastball away, and Keenan Taylor's on board to begin the 8th inning. 4th walk for the Mallards today. Here comes Jackson Chatterton batting from the right side this time. Chatterton squares to bunt, takes a fastball low. Way off first base is Taylor. He is going to now start running towards second as the ball goes into right field. Peterson picks it up and is not able to make a throw in time. After some deliberation from Purdue's Taylor, he's into second base, and Chatterton's got a chance here to drive in a run. Donnie Scott's going to take time out to draw up some X's and O's with Chatterton, one of the best bunters on this team. And in the meantime, Doug Coe out of his out of his dugout, will bring the entirety of the offense together, the defense. Donnie Scott will return to his spot, and Coe will use his one mound visit of this inning. In last night's ball game, Coe went out to the mound to have a conversation with his pitcher, and Corbin Dickerson, who had just stolen second base, had jogged over towards third base in the coach's box for Donnie. And in years past, you've been able to do that, have an offensive conference in the middle of a mound visit, not just for a pitching change, but for a mound visit, because you're allowed one mound visit per pitcher. And then if you visit the mound again, you must pull that pitcher from the game. But Donnie, he was charged with one of their offensive conferences last night. He was frustrated with this crew because of it. On 1-0, Chatterton swinging away. Line drive right center field. That should score the run. Taylor digging around third. He's going to score standing up. Chatterton will retreat to first base. An RBI single puts the Mallards in front 3-2 in the 8th inning. Big swing from Jackson Chatterton puts the Mallards back ahead. The error from the catcher Grossman proves critical after trying to backpick Keenan Taylor. Chatterton singles off Goudreau, and now here's Jake Goolsby to try and add on. Goudreau pitched in the opener against Green Bay. Went 1 1/3, faced 4 batters and struck out 1. He only faced 4. Put down all of them. Goolsby squares to bunt and bunts it foul back behind home plate. Jake, a sharp line drive single 2 innings ago off the starter Logan Eisenbarth, who has now already given up the decision for today in a 3-2 Mallards lead. On this pitch, swinging, diving past the first baseman, it's Sweet Chick. Goolsby into first, Chatterton settles in at second, and the Mallards have some offense grinding here in the top of the 8th inning. Western Michigan's Dylan Nevar will step up. All 3 Mallards have reached here in this inning. And Nevar with a chance to extend it against Goudreau. First pitch fastball and hit the belt. Ducks looking for their first win, migrated away from Warner Park. On 1-0, Nevar swings and drives it down the line, down the first baseline. It's past the diving Sweet Chick. Coming around third, scoring is Chatterton. Picking it up in right field is Peterson, and all the way to third base is Goolsby. A 4-2 Mallards lead on an RBI single from Dylan Nevar. He's got his second run driven in of the afternoon, and the carousel continues for the Ducks here in the 8th inning. He just tucked that thing inside that first baseline, and back-to-back batters have just muscled one by. Sweet Chick at first base. Here's Dickerson. Drove in the second Mallards run back in the first inning. 4-2 Mallards here from Harebaker Field. Pickoff move over towards first base, diving in safely Nevar. Runners on the corners with nobody out. Keenan Taylor led off the inning with a walk. Chatterton a single. Goolsby a single. Nevar a single. Now Dickerson. The pitch to him is a fastball right by the swinging bat of the right-hander. Goudreau pitched one time against the Mallards a year ago. Did not allow a run, but he walked 2. 5 batters faced in one frame. 1-1, a called strike. Delayed steal Nevar safely into second, but a 1-2 count coming to Dickerson. Third stolen base of the day for Madison. And I think Dylan Nevar potentially is hurt here at second base. Nick Fazio sprinted over there. Donnie Scott is now over at second base. That's not a good sign for Dylan. He looks over to Fond du Lac's trainer. Liam Moreno will be the pinch runner, likely the fastest Mallard on the bench. And that's a tough thing to do right off the old pine. You gotta make sure that Nevar's okay. The Mallards are not deep in the outfield. Right now, they only have 3 outfielders on the active roster. Now, Liam Moreno can play on the infield and in the outfield. He started quite a few games in left field later in the season a year ago. So the substitution right now will be Liam Moreno at second base for Dylan Nevar, as the athletic trainer here in Fond du Lac checks up on him. But in the meantime, 1-2 to Dickerson. He'll take fastball low and away to even up the count 2-2. Gotta wonder if it was just an awkward slide, maybe got his cleats stuck in the dirt. Wearing their spikes today. 2 balls, 2 strikes with Dickerson. The pitch from Goudreau is tapped towards the second base. Sweet Chick will check the runner, and nobody's over at first. Goudreau didn't cover in time, and Dickerson, with his speed, lands at first base with an infield single. So when it rains, it pours for Madison. Here in the top of the 8th inning, in a good way for the team. On what certainly should have been a routine ground ball out. Goudreau fell off the bump to his right. Remember, Goudreau, the lefty. And as a lefty, you're pulled towards your glove side with the glove on your right hand towards the third base dugout, but the ground ball went just to the right of the mound. He was not able to field it, and here comes Davis Hamilton taking fastball, ball 1. Sweet Chick charged and fielded it cleanly, but nobody was over there. The second baseman, Nowitzki, nowhere to be found, and Goudreau caught in between that same area as Sweet Chick. Davis fouls off the 1-0. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. So Goolsby had to remain put because the catcher, Grossman, was ready at home plate. Good base running by the Mallards' first baseman, kept there by Donnie Scott right in his ear. On 1-1, Hamilton takes low and in. Nowhere to put Davis for Goudreau. Second year with Fond du Lac. 9 1/3 a year ago. 10 earned runs. He walked 13 and only struck out 8. 2-1 pitch, a high fly ball towering down the right field line. Peterson chases, Goolsby tags from third. Peterson makes the catch. The throw will come all the way to the plate. Nope, Sweet Chick's going to cut it off, and he lost the ball. And here comes all the way to the plate. Moreno's going to try and score as the ball got lost in between first and second. Moreno will score, and the Mallards extend their lead to 6-2. And the Fond du Lac crowd growing restless with their own club here. 4 runs here in the top of the 8th inning. That's another error on the Dock Spiders. And this one's going to go against Sweet Chick. He thought he had the ball in his glove, trying to tag Dickerson at first base. Back-to-back days with a carnival on the infield as Dickerson slides back safely on a pickoff move. So for Hamilton, a sacrifice fly to right field. Peterson delivered a good throw down the line. He was perfectly aligned with the catcher. Oh my goodness, the throw from Grossman hit the pitcher, Goudreau. It's just not good baseball all around for the Dock Spiders here in their 4th game of the season. They played great from innings 2 through 7, and now it's all falling apart here for them in the 8th. Jaden Lobliner took a strike. It's 0-1. And now 1-0 as a fastball misses high. But to recap that play again, Liam Moreno was at third as Sweet Chick tried to tag out Dickerson at first base as he was nearly tagged out. He was almost out, but then he strode back in, but Sweet Chick didn't have the ball in his glove. It was sitting there on the ground. Lobliner pops it up on the infield. Sweet Chick this time will make the catch just behind the mound. Bottom of the order, Braden Mazzone, as the athletic trainer went behind the stadium and then went back into the Fond du Lac dugout, then across behind home plate, right back to the Mallards dugout to tend to Dylan Nevar. Here's Braden Mazzone with the runner on board. Dickerson takes off towards third base, a swing and a miss. And it's a stolen bag for Corbin. Six-2 Mallards here in the top of the 8th inning. The 0-1 pitch, Mazzone on the ground, foul towards the right side. Mallards 6 outs away from picking up their first road win of the season. No balls and 2 strikes in the count. 2 away with Braden Mazzone at the plate against Zach Goudreau. On 0-2, Mazzone slaps it foul. No balls and 2 strikes. Runner on third base. The pitch to Mazzone is a called strike 3 into the outside corner. The Mallards pick up 4 here in the top of the 8th inning to take a 6-2 lead here in Fond du Lac on your home for Madison Mallards baseball. Hey fans, the Northwoods League is proud to partner with the authentic Stadium Mustard this season. For over 50 years, Stadium Mustard has been offered at stadiums, ballparks, and arenas coast to coast. And the Mallards and Dock Spiders are proud to be serving Stadium Mustard here at Hairbaker Field and back home at Warner Park in Madison, loved by millions. Stadium Mustard. A 6-2 lead for the Ducks after a productive top of the 8th inning. Kevin Fee back out to work. Just some messy baseball from the Dock Spiders. First pitch from Kevin Fee misses outside. Jake Grossman, 7-8-9 for the home Spiders, 6-2 Madison. Second pitch, low, back up the middle. Davis Hamilton on one hop, below his belt, throws to first base, and there is one away in the home 8th inning. It just died once it hit the dirt, and Davis was right there playing deep in the hole behind second base. A pinch hitter here for the Dock Spiders. It's going to be Drew Berrigan. First pitch from Kevin Fee is a fastball for a called strike to begin the at-bat with the pinch hitter. The right-handed batter against the right-handed submarine thrower Fee. There's a sweeper and appeal to first base for the first base umpire Justin Wilson is a no-go. A ball and a strike. Berrigan from Embry-Riddle. Here's a line drive into right field. That's a long run for the new right fielder Moreno. It's going to two-hop the wall. Moreno will field it and throw all the way into the cutoff man, Davis Hamilton, who gloves it, turns, and holds on to it. So a productive change for Doug Coe and the Dock Spiders with the stand-up double by the pinch hitter, Drew Berrigan. Best batter today for the Dock Spiders has been the man coming to the plate, Luke Nowitzki. He is 3 for 3 with 3 singles. He's gotten to second base in every single at-bat. Here's a line drive into right. That's going to fall in front of Moreno. And runners will be on the corners here against Kevin Fee in the bottom of the 8th. And now they've got to be careful against Paul Whitman. Remember, Dylan Nevar was shaken up in the top of the 8th. And Liam Moreno came in as the pinch runner, and he ended up scoring a critical run on the error by Seth Sweetchick at first base. On the ground right side, charging Hamilton. He's going to get one here. He throws to first. Whitman is down. He's got some speed running down the first baseline, and Donnie Scott took note of that on the bus ride here to Fond du Lac. A run comes in. Berrigan. And Luke Nowitzki is in to second base again. But there are 2 away for Kevin Fee here in the bottom of the 8th inning with Travis Strickler striding to the plate. Good work by Whitman just to get the run in, but the contact we've been seeing against Kevin Fee has been consistent. It's been a line drive, shallow approach by the opposition, or it's been a weak ground ball. First pitch fastball from the low arm slot pitcher, submarine style Kevin Fee out of Purdue Fort Wayne as a called strike to Strickler. Has now scored 3 runs across 2 games for the Dock Spiders. Second pitch to him is popped up left side, and that will ride foul. See if Kevin Fee can get past Strickler here, holding on to a 3-run lead. 6-3 Mallards here from Hairbaker Field in Fond du Lac. Mallards looking for their first series sweep of the early going season. Split 1-1 with the Woodchucks and took game 1 last night at Warner Park down in Madison. The 0-2 is a fastball away. He's got 2 forms of a fastball, a 4-seamer and a cutter. You can tell the difference between the two when it leaves his hand. Fastball, it'll rise a little bit, and the cutter, well, it's in the name. It'll cut into a lefty. And there it is. It's low and away, though. 2 balls and 2 strikes with Travis Strickler on his day. A walk, a K. Hit by pitch, and a pop-up. One of 3 batters to face off against Mallards starting pitcher Bryce Liedl 2 different times. Off the plate, ball 3. It was half a ball to with off to load up the count at 3-2. Nobody getting loose down in the bullpen for Madison. This is all Kevin Fee here in the 8th. Team leads by 3. Picked up 4 runs in the top half of this frame. The pitch is on the ground, right side, foul past Jake Goolsby and first-year hitting coach Joel Morris. The Mallards pitching staff had struck out 9 through 6 innings. Kevin Fee entered. He has not struck out anybody yet. And the full count pitch is a line drive into left field that will die in front of Tucker. He will relay the ball into Keenan Taylor. Runners on the corners as the base runner Nowitzki will settle in at third base. So here comes Seth Sweetchick, who has not had the greatest of days defensively. Can make up for it in a big way. Remember, from my angle, I can't really see the Mallards bullpen, but they are going to go to the bullpen here. Oh, no, they're not. Rashad Ruff was running onto the field. Then Sean Brown pushed it back, said, not yet. No, not yet. Just a mound visit by Donnie to have a conversation with Fee, with Sweetchick coming to the plate with a lot of power in his bat. He's got the ability to tie this thing up. Kevin Fee comes set at the belt. The pitch home. First pitch fastball away to Sweetchick. Runners on the corners. 2 away. 1-0 count. 6-3 ball game. Mallards ahead of the Dock Spiders here from Hairbaker. On the 1-0 pitch, a sharp ground ball, foul. Down the third baseline. Sweetchick does have a homer on the season. It's one of his 2 hits. He was hit by a pitch in the first, struck out in the second. Infield fly in the 4th. And a pop out. Just an inning ago to lead off the 7th. Fastball low and away from Kevin Fee. It's 2-1. The throwback from a zone almost went by him. Big out to get for Kevin Fee in the Mallards defense. The pitch is low. And Fee is in danger of loading up the bases here. With the go-ahead run on deck against the Fond du Lac Dock Spiders. 6-3, Mallards lead it. It was a 2-2 tie until this inning. The Mallards scored 4. Dock Spiders have 1. 3-1 pitch. Ball 4 just off the plate, and Sweetchick will take off her first, and here comes Donnie Scott. So Kevin Fee here in the 8th inning, not as good as his first frame. And for the Mallards, it's going to be Rashad Ruff. We'll welcome you right back in a 6-3 ball game with the bases loaded. Rashad taking the bump as he closed out the game against Wausau a few nights ago on your home of Madison Mallards baseball. New pitcher is on for the Mallards with the bases loaded and the cleanup man due up. It's likely one of the Mallards' closers for the entirety of this season, the right-hander Rashad Ruff from Coppin State. Ruff pitched on opening day back at Warner Park on Monday night. He went 1 inning, he allowed 1 hit, struck out 1. Mallards picked up 4 runs in the top of the 8th inning. The Dock Spiders have scored 1 in the home 8th. Big out to get here in relief of Kevin Fee. He inherits all 3 base runners. Nowitzki at third, Strickler at second. Sweetchick just walked. He's over at first base. Jack Peterson, the 4-hole hitter, to the plate. Connor Cooney waits on deck. Rashad will work out of the windup. Holds a glove at the belt. 10 on the pitch clock, not yet into his motion. Here it comes. The first pitch to Peterson. Swung on and missed. The Mallards 8 hits. Dock Spiders 7. 3 Fond du Lac errors. 1 Mallard error. 6-3, Madison leads it here from Hairbaker Field. On 0-1, Peterson takes strike 2. That's a beautiful pitch from Rashad Ruff. 1 strike away from getting out of a jam here. His father, Anthony, sits front row right behind home plate. Traveled up here 2 weeks to watch his son play after graduating from Coppin State. The 0-2. He just missed with a breaking ball low. I think every single Mallard thought he had strike 3 to strand him loaded. Instead, it's a 1-2 count. Here comes the pitch from Rashad on 1-2. A swing and a tap foul. Braden Mazzone getting bruised up today behind home plate. Rashad's dad, Anthony, sitting right in front of us in the press box, about 8 rows south, right behind home plate. Knew his son was going to pitch today. Rashad will leave the Mallards for a couple weeks and then return for the rest of the summer, going on a cruise as a graduation present, but he wanted to see his son play. Hometown of Moreno Valley, California. On 1-2, the pitch. That's off the plate outside on a changeup. Makes it 2-2. Peterson has been one of the better bats for Fond du Lac so far. No hits in this game, but 4 hits so far on the season. Tied with Nowitzki. 1 hit behind Whitman on 2-2. It's tapped foul behind home plate. Big situation to come into here for Rashad Ruff. 6-3 Mallards lead. The bases are loaded. A 2-2 count. Good at bat so far from Jack Peterson. Ruff stares in. Mazzone sets up. Here's the pitch from Ruff. It's a called strike 3. Sits him down and the bases are left loaded in a 6-3 ball game. That's big time stuff from Rashad Ruff in the bottom of the 8th inning. We'll be right back for the 9th on your home for Madison Mallards baseball. 1 inning to play from Harebaker Field in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. Early start today for the Mallards, 11:35 first pitch. Rashad Ruff and a big jam enters in relief of Kevin Fee and strikes out the cleanup man Jack Peterson to leave him loaded. That is just big time stuff by Rashad. New catcher for Fond du Lac is Lorenzo Rios. Takes over for Grossman. Top of the order for the Mallards, Jack Tucker against Zach Goudreau. Goudreau entered in relief of Eisenbarth just an inning ago. He locates a fastball here for a strike. The Doc Spiders starter, 7 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, neither of them earned. 3 walks, 4 Ks. Second pitch is low, it's 1-1. But then the defense just imploded for the Doc Spiders in the 8th inning. A walk, a single, another single, and guess what? Another single with an error on the next at-bat on a sacrifice fly off the bat of Hamilton as Tucker takes strike 2. And a pop out and a strikeout looking ended the frame. The 1-2 pitch to Tucker. Checked his swing. Did he go? No. Mallards looking for their first road win of the season. Three outs away from doing that. On 2-2, a fastball is outside. Jack Tucker even thought maybe that'd be a called strike 3. Lorenzo Rios, who just took over for Grossman, certainly thought he had it. He had popped up behind Jack Tucker to throw the ball down to third. Here's the payoff. Tucker fouls it off. Drew Berrigan now in at shortstop as he took over in the batting order for Herrera. Here's a line drive off the bat of Tucker in the left field, and that will fall down in front of Strickler and over the head of the third baseman, Surain. Jack Tucker's been on 3 times today. His first base hit, he was on with the fielder's choice. In the 5th, he was then picked off. But back in the 1st inning, he walked and came around to score, representing the first Mallards run of the day. Purdue's man Keenan Taylor coming to the plate. Mallards lead at 6-3, top of the 9th inning from Harebaker Field in a steamy Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. First pitch to Taylor is popped up and out of play behind the first base dugout. We'd figure that Rashad Ruff would take the bump for the bottom of the 9th inning with 3 runs of insurance. No outs. A runner on first base, Jack Tucker after his single. Pitch to Taylor, fastball into the dirt. The throw down to first base from the new catcher, Rio. Speed check applies a tag, but too late for the diving Tucker. One ball, one strike in the count. Zach Goudreau, the 5'10" left-hander on the mound for the Doc Spiders. Keenan Taylor squares to bunt. Tucker takes off for second base. He is in there with a stolen bag. Jack Tucker continues to be a strong base thief for Donnie Scott. He bends over at the knees. The Mallards right fielder Dylan Nevar had some issue getting up when he stole the bag an inning ago. He's now out of the game. Liam Moreno took over for him. And if you're Donnie Scott, you've got to be careful with your outfielders here because there are only 3 on the roster right now. Isaiah Jackson will likely be here this weekend from Arizona State. Boy, is he a spectacular athlete. Don't know what the case is with Dylan Nevar and what happened at second. He's got an ice pack on in the first base dugout, but can't see him from the perspective up here. 2-1 in the count to Taylor. And he takes a fastball in on the hands, just inside, too. 4th stolen base of the game for the Madison offense. Taylor takes outside. Runners on first and second base. The Mallards, in all 2 games so far, looking for that 3rd win In both of their wins so far, they have added insurance in either the bottom of the 8th and now looking for it in the top of the 9th inning to try and put away this game here against Fond du Lac. They scored 2 last night in the home 8th. And they scored 5 combined runs from the 6th through 8th innings of Monday night's win against Wausau. Chatterton takes a ball high from the lefty. Haven't seen him bat from the right side too much here in the early going. But he's got a good swing from both sides of the plate. Singled in a run his last at-bat. He flies one towards center field here. I think Tucker might try and tag. Center fielder Cooney's got it lined up. He will take off for third. Tucker sprinting, cut off by the shortstop Berrigan. And Tucker is in safely to put runners on the corners. So Jackson Chatterton does the team a job, getting one runner 90 feet away from scoring for potential insurance with Jake Goolsby coming to the plate. One away, 6-3 lead for the Northsiders. Lefty on lefty, Goudreau to Goolsby, shot foul. Three-run lead for the Madison Mallards here against the Fond du Lac Dock Spiders. Zach Linfield here with you. So glad to have everybody along for some Thursday morning, now Thursday afternoon baseball here in the Northwoods. Curveball's taken for a strike. Goolsby doesn't like the call because it was high. Mallards lead in hits, 9-7. Errors for the Dock Spiders, 3. Mallards 1. On 1-1. Runner takes off for second. Tucker is caught between home plate and third base. He dives back with an awkward slide, but he's safe. More of a finesse slide than an awkward one. And Keenan Taylor swipes a bag. The catcher Rios just pumped one time towards third base. He should have thrown it, and I think Jack Tucker's got a raspberry on his arm. The pitch was a strike to Goolsby, so it's 2 balls and 2 strikes now. Infield plays in on the 2-2. Goolsby, a little floater down the left field line. Will it stay fair? It will not. Just continued to slice as Strickler strided over towards the left field line. "47 pitches now thrown in relief in just an inning and a third for Zach Goudreau. His next pitch will be number 20 in this inning. 2-2 on its way. Goolsby pops it up. Sweet Chick calls everybody off. And Rios, they almost collide between home plate and first base. Goolsby retired. Mallards still lead it by 3 with runners on second and third base, with Liam Moreno coming to the plate. His first at-bat of the day after taking over for the injured Nevar. Mallard's defense will see 5, 6, 7 for the Dock Spiders in the bottom of the 9th. First pitch fastball is high to Liam. Celebrated his birthday 2 days ago, 20 years old. Swings and fouls off the 1-0 back behind home plate. Only one other early game of action today. The Battle Creek Battlejacks have played all 4 of their games prior to 1 p.m. so far. They have yet to play a night game. They lost 12-7 to Kalamazoo. There's a swing and a miss from Moreno to make it 1-2. Mason Meeks gets the win for the Growlers. 6:05 start in Wisconsin Rapids for Rafters and Rockers. And then finally to round out the East, Wausau and Lakeshore at Athletic Park, the Woodchucks and Chinooks at 6:35. Here's a ground ball towards second. Fielded cleanly by Nowitzki, and the throw to first is in time to put away the Mallards. They strand 2 in the top of the 9th inning. It's get it done time for the Mallards and their defense in the bottom of the 9th inning, leading 6-3 on your home for Madison Mallards baseball. 6-3 is the Mallards' lead as we head to the bottom of the 9th inning here from Hairbaker Field in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. And Rashad Ruff retakes the bump for the Mallards. He entered in a tough situation in the bottom of the 8th. The bases loaded after Kevin Fee allowed a double, a single, another single, and a walk. And Rashad Ruff punched out Jack Peterson with the backward strikeout. He gets 5, 6, 7 here for the Dock Spiders in the bottom of the 9th inning with a 3-run buffer. Left-hander Connor Cooney steps up to lead off for the Dock Spiders. First pitch from Rashad, fastball, low, ball 1. Rashad likes to take his time on the mound. The 1-0 pitch misses away, 2 balls, no strikes. The trip for the Mallards was a lot smoother up to Fond du Lac than it was for the Dock Spiders down to Madison as Rashad Ruff delivers a 2-0 pitch. Now 3-0, a fastball off the plate. The first trip for new Dock Spiders skipper Doug Coe was everything except normal for the Dock Spiders. Yesterday, a scheduled time of 6:05 on the first pitch. Fastball in there for a strike, 3-1. Fond du Lac left at about 11 a.m. to drive to Warner Park. The team was about 25 minutes away from Madison, where they were supposed to stop at Portillo's on the east side. A fastball misses high, base runner on to lead off the bottom of the 9th for Fond du Lac in a 6-3 ball game. But all of a sudden, general manager Sam Rubin for the Mallards got a call saying that the Fond du Lac bus had broken down. The charter had overheated. So they had to completely turn off the bus, which means no AC for a group of college guys and coaches. First pitch to Surain misses badly outside. 6 pitches thrown here in the frame from Ruff, 5 of them being balls. Jim Masudik, the general manager for Fond du Lac, had to call the charter bus company. Here's a ground ball towards the left side. That gets through. And 2 runners are aboard to lead off the bottom of the 9th for Fond du Lac. But that call, it didn't go well. They were told it would take an hour and a half to get them a new ride. The bus driver of the first bus had suggested they could just hit cruise control at about 15 miles per hour and that they'd make it to Warner Park in about 40 to 45 minutes. It's safe to say that the Dock Spiders missed their pregame meal reservation across town to the east side of Madison, but the restaurant was kind enough to pack up the meal, bring it to the park, and the Dock Spiders made it there safely. Quite the trip for Fondy. Their second road game of the year. Runners on first and second in a 3-run ball game. Lorenzo Rios for the first time today. He'll take a looking strike. It's 0-1 with Rashad Ruff. Grossman was originally in the 7th spot, but he went 0 for 4. Second pitch just past the knees of the catcher Rios. And for Rashad Ruff, got to find the strike zone. Continue to pitch to contact. That last single for Jake Surain was light contact off the bat of the righty. Nice block there by Mazzone. 2 balls and a strike now. Drew Berrigan waits on deck. Pinch hit double in his first AB. On 2-1, there's a called strike. Rios had his knees buckled just a tad. 2 runs apiece for the Mallards and Dock Spiders in the first. 4 runs for Madison in the top of the 8th inning. 1 for the Dock Spiders in the 8th. 6-3 lead for the Mallards. The 2-2 is swung on and missed. The first out in this bottom of the 9th inning is a big one for Rashad. So the first at-bat for Lorenzo Rios as the substitute for Jake Grossman goes very similarly to the way that Grossman had his day go with 2 strikeouts. First pitch slider to Drew Berrigan is outside. 3-run lead for the Madison Mallards here against the Fond du Lac Dock Spiders. Game 2 of 12 between these two clubs this season, the old rivals here in the Great Lakes West. There's a fastball that skied into center field. Should be no problem for Corbin Dickerson. Measures it nicely, delivers a clean cutoff throw to Jack Chatterton, and there are 2 away here in the 9th inning.
Here comes the second baseman, Luke Nowitzki.
So the troublesome man for the Mallards today, Luke Nowitzki, is 4 for 4 with 4 singles. Reached on an infield single in his first AB back in the 2nd inning. Been on base all 4 times, has yet to come around to score. Leadoff man Paul Whitman is on deck, a home run in last night's game. You want to get this guy here if you're Rashad Ruff. First pitch curveball is a beauty for a strike. A chance to move the Mallards to 3-1 in their first series sweep of the season. The 0-1 pitch is in there for strike 2. Nowitzki bends out of the way, and Rashad Ruff an early edge with 2 strikes in the count. With his father Anthony sitting front row right behind home plate, Nowitzki waves the bat out twice. On 0-2, the pitch from Ruff is off the plate with the slider. Used effectively as a closer this season at Coppin State. Would pick up a save here. Stranding runners on first and second. The 1-2 is a line drive through the gap on the right side. Liam Moreno will charge it. He will field it cleanly. And here comes the top of the order, Paul Whitman. A walk, a single, a strikeout, fly out, and now another single has put the winning run at the plate for the Dock Spiders here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Luke Nowitzki 5 for 5 today. Never really comes easy, does it? A big fly last night for Whitman. First pitch to him from Ruff. Misses the outside corner. Braden Mazzone frustrated with Parker Powell, the home plate umpire. One big out to get here. Tying run is on first base for the Dock Spiders. A gap shot could tie it. Nowitzki's got speed over there on the 1-0. On the ground, right side. Tough play for Hamilton. Ranging to his left. That's going to be an error. He will pick it up in shallow right field. The throw will go all the way to third, and the tying run is at third base for the Dock Spiders here in the 9th. The game was right on the glove of Davis Hamilton at second base. Moving to his left. Second Mallards error, and that's been the story of this team through 3 games, and now the 4th has been the errors. Rashad Ruff did what he had to do. And now, all of a sudden, it's a 6-5 ball game. Cooney, who walked to lead off the inning, came around to score. The single from Surain pays off. He is in. And all the way over to third base is Nowitzki. The grass in right field killed it down in front of Liam Moreno. Six to 5 here from Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. The crowd was almost out of their seats and heading towards the gates, but they found a reason to stay now here from Harebaker Field. Tying run over at third base, Travis Strickler into the box. Rashad Ruff with 10 on the pitch clock. Runners on the corners. First pitch to him, elevated fastball. Strickler awaits the 1-0 pitch. Ruff set at the belt. The pitch home is a fastball that misses low. Waiting on deck is Seth Sweetchick. Only one spot to put Strickler. as Rashad Ruff and everybody else here in attendance at Hare-Baker holding their breath in a 6-5 ball game. The 2-0 pitch is up the middle. High fly ball into center field. Dickerson measures it, and that'll do it. Dickerson makes the catch, and an exhale here from Hare-Baker Field. The Mallards spill out onto the field. A congratulatory thank you from a couple of the Mallards and the pitching staff as they head right over to Rashad Ruff. A final score of 6-5 from Hare-Baker Field in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. Final thoughts and a wrap-up when we come back on your home for Madison Mallards Baseball. Welcome back to Hare-Baker Field here in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. A final score of 6-5. Mallards victorious over the Fond du Lac Dock Spiders. A series sweep for the Mallards as Rashad Ruff leaves 5 on base in the final 2 innings of this ball game. He stranded them loaded in the 8th, and then 2 runs come around to score in the 9th inning, but he's able to get it done and beat the Dock Spiders for the Mallards' 3rd win of the season as the Ducks improve to 3-1. The Dock Spiders winless at 0-4. But for the Mallards at the plate today, they were led by a couple of different ball players. Corbin Dickerson goes 2 for 3. He also catches the final out of this ball game. Jake Goolsby goes 2 for 5. The top of the order, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 had at least 1 hit. Goolsby the only one with 2. But the concern right now for the Mallards is Dylan Nevard, making sure that he is healthy moving forward. He had an ice pack on his leg after sliding into second base and didn't have much luck after that. Final score again, Mallards win this one ball game here today before heading to 5 more on the road. A final score of 6-5 before heading to Capco Park in Mequon, Wisconsin tomorrow for 2 games. And then Winter Field for 2 more against the Wisconsin Rapids Rafters, and then 1 with the Kenosha Kingfish. Signing off tonight, my name is Zach Linfield. Getting back to Madison before the trip up to Mequon tomorrow. Good night, and go Mallards.